Hey everyone, I'm Jesse from the Janjo Zone. In this video, we're going to talk about the newly introduced Egyptian God decks. Oh yeah, it's happening. Wait, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because that helps me upload more videos and know that you like content like this. So when I was going on Twitter, on my Janjo Zone Twitter, I found that, yeah, there was these new decks announced. Since I follow Yu-Gi-Oh! News, I was pretty excited to find out that this was a newly announced thing. And the thing is, I don't know if we're just getting one, but I know that we're getting two. And that's pretty crazy. See, we got a Slifer deck and an Obelisk deck. Now, I've talked about the Egyptian God support that was announced in the past, that would be prior to the present. I was pretty excited about that because last year we got the Rage of Ra set. Now, I'm really happy about that set, if only that there were some cards that were kind of pricey, but whatever. I put the money into it to build a Ra deck, even though I mostly play older formats. Hey, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. What can I say? That's stuff I grew up on. That's nostalgia is what brought me back into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! With the legendary collections. The fact that we're getting two decks is pretty crazy because, again, it's not like they're making a pack. We can get everything we need to play these decks in a deck, in two decks. Now, you would have to build, $60 to get 3 copies each to build a solid deck if you're doing sealed-only products. But I am interested in terms of what is going to be in the decks, because it could be a lot more Slifer support and a lot more Obelisk support on the way. We don't quite know, because they've only shown a couple cards. And in this slide picture thing, this image that has been captured through time, has a little bit of explanation, a little bit of it. We know that they will have 40 cards, at least in the OCG. They will be released in early June, so there is a good chance within the upcoming months that we're going to find a lot more cards for the set, especially since it was just announced. It really only is a matter of time. And so we can look here. It's going to be $9.99 per box, usual structure deck kind of stuff here going on. There is a lot of information on here talking about Slifer the Sky Dragon, how there'll be a lot of token generating effects. There'll be new cards like the Thunder Force attack, which I've talked about in the past. Destroy spell cards on the field and draw cards. Some very powerful stuff. Slifer is, conceptually, he's really good, but he's never really had that push to make him really good, because the fact that he can destroy monsters and reduce their attack pretty quickly and gain attack pretty quickly is pretty scary. He's definitely was kind of the weakest out of the God cards, especially with the Raw support and Obelisk just being inherently powerful with a 4K Fist of Fate, and that is a card that will be featured in the deck, which is actually kind of interesting, going off of the art for the decks real quick. These high-res scans, not that one. That's from a different one I talked about. But yeah, we got not the monster cards, but actually the spell cards that they use. We got the Thunder Force attack, and then the Fist of Fate art, which is absolutely beautiful art. Like, I love looking at this. Just seeing new art from the famous Egyptian God cards is pretty crazy to see. I hope we get nice versions of the God cards. Will we see new art for it? Maybe. I would not rule that out to see new art for the God cards. They already have their own art. It would be nice to see secret rares, but we just kind of got secret rares. Going off the Obelisk desk, they talk about protecting your life points. They talked about destroying monsters, negating effects, just bypassing back row, that kind of stuff. Very powerful things. This is the kind of stuff that you would want to grab each and every one of them. It is a shame that the Rage of Ra was a set and not a deck, because if they added, the Ancient Chant and Egyptian God Slime and stuff like that in a deck, and hell, if they included the Ghost Ray Ra, oh my dude, that would have been the deck to buy. Absolutely. which is kind of a shame that that got a set with a bunch of expensive cards, and the other two are getting their own decks. It feels like kind of a weird ratio going on. Like, you got Raw, then you got the other two. Like, come on, can you just fit them all in there? I mean, again, I rather have decks than the packs, because at least we have preset things. And hey, now you can do Divine Beast versus Egyptian God decks, and that is really cool, because I really like the Divine Beast deck, or the Sacred Beast deck, excuse me. But I wonder if this will be a thing where you can actually mix and match words. If you could combine the decks together. I'm interested if that would work, or if their strategies are very specific to the decks, or maybe they are meant to be played side by side. I'm interested, because they do mention that they are separate decks, I believe. Yes, each Egyptian God deck. So this isn't a case where it's like just different arts. These are actually separate decks. Where they include one Egyptian God card and 5 new cards, 4 unique cards, as well as 1 Soul Crossing, which is a quick play spell card that lets you tribute for the Egyptian God cards. So you're getting some new cards, not a ton of new cards, but that's okay. You're getting a good chunk to get that strategy going. It's interesting that they're only including 1 Egyptian God card. I think that's kind of weird, considering that you had multiple. Actually, I'm thinking about the Divine Beast deck. It might have been 1 per deck, with the exception of the other Raviel card. But still, you still got 3 Divine Beasts. If you're only having 1, that's interesting. I wonder if the other cards will have a lot of protection and recursion for the God cards. That'll be interesting to see as they announce more. They say a straight playable strat out of the deck, basic strategy, that's kind of the same thing. 4 ultra rares, 4 super rares, and 32 commons. So you're getting a lot of rarities in this, plus a deluxe game mat, which I'm sure will look really awesome if not for it just being made of paper. But otherwise, I think the art would be really cool for these game mats. I'm not one to play with the paper game mats, but still, if you had to get one, it's going to be this one. And again, I'm really excited for this. I had no idea they would ever announce these decks. This is kind of something I think surprised and shocked a lot of people, obviously including myself. And I'm excited for it. I really want to make these decks so I can have my complete God decks with my Raw deck. So let me know what you think about the Egyptian God decks. Which one would you pick up if not both? Let me know what kind of stuff you want to see out of these decks, and if you're excited about it. So, of course, until I see you all next time, have a wonderful day.